Hi guys, it's Liz. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. For people that have been subscribed to me, I am so sorry. I have not posted a video in about 11 months, almost a year now, and I'm so sorry. I just have been procrastinating on YouTube. But I am going to start being consistent now because I really want to help other people in the beauty industry with any questions they may have, or anyone that's starting out in the lash industry. I really want to help them out. So if you're new to the lash industry, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and comment any video ideas that you have for me. I have a ton planned. I have like a whole notes folder in my iPhone of all these videos that I want to film for you guys. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of working as a lash artist from home versus working as a lash artist in your own private office space or studio. So let's talk about working from home. I worked from home as a lash artist for probably about the first 2 years of my lash career, because the first year, I know it's bad guys, but I did not have my beauty license. I was just certified in doing lashes, and I know you need your beauty license to be legal, but again, I was kind of testing the waters that first year. Didn't really know if this is what I wanted to do with my career or anything, so I didn't really 100% consider going to esthetician school the first year. But after that first year, when I kind of got the ball rolling, kind of got more clients in the door, I was like, okay, I love this job. I love making women feel beautiful and special, and this is just the industry that I want to be in. So the second year of lashing, I did end up going to esthetician school, and I actually got my full specialist license. I live in Florida, so it's about 600 hours of school. It took me about 5.5 months. Not bad at all. It was super quick. It wasn't that expensive. Most schools offer financial aid, so that was super helpful as well. But definitely look into all the legalities of working from home if that's what you're gonna do. But I know a lot of people do it because, again, they're testing the waters. Even though beauty school isn't that expensive, it's still like a few $1,000s more than that. Working from home, so a couple cons, and sorry if I'm looking down, I have my iPad here with all my little notes. Let's talk about the cons of working from home. So one of the cons that I noticed is that my pricing was lower than other studios around me. So for example, my pricing was lower than someone that was renting a suite across the street 5 minutes away. Why? Because when you're working from home, here's another con, it's a less professional space. Okay, someone is literally coming into your personal private home to get a service done. So I feel like most clients do expect it to be cheaper just because you're not paying rent. They know you're not paying rent, so they don't, you're paying your house rent, but you're not paying any additional rent as you would in a suite. So they kind of expect that cost to be low. Another con for in-home studio is distraction. So for example, I have a dog. Every time someone would ring my doorbell, which is why I had to eventually stop asking my clients to ring my doorbell, my dog would just go crazy and start barking. Now she's really nice. Like, she would bark just because she heard the doorbell. I did keep her upstairs though, because it's just so unprofessional to walk into someone's house getting a service and their dog is like running up to you. But also my dog is really small, like she's probably the size of this iPad, so it's not like she's a big scary dog or anything. It was definitely a distraction, and I always apologize, like, oh my god, sorry, my dog is barking, but no one cared, but I cared because it was just unprofessional to me. Okay, so where I worked, I will actually insert a video right here of what it looks like. I do not have any extra bedrooms in my house. It's a 2-bedroom townhouse, just me and my sister, and I was not about to lash in my bedroom. I lashed in a spot in my living room, just a corner of my living room. I had my bed set up, I had my little cart set up with all my lash supplies. My living room is right by my kitchen, so my sister was a distraction because sometimes I'll have like an 11 a.m. client and my sister has to work at 12, so she would go in the kitchen and make herself food or get snacks or anything, and like, my client would smell the food that she's cooking, and I just hated that. I just thought that was, again, super unprofessional, and some people could even get nauseous from certain smells. So I never had that problem, or at least I never had anyone complain about that problem. I would always let my clients know if my sister was going to go in the kitchen, and they didn't really care, even if you live with your parents or any roommates or something. But again, I was working out of my living room, so if you do have a spare bedroom, that would be a lot better, because obviously there's no kitchen in there, so someone can't go in and make food and distract you. Another thing, speaking of working from home, it is not really legal where I live. I know some states, I don't know all the regulations of all the states, but I believe some states allow you to do it. I honestly don't really know, but I know for Florida, you're not allowed to work in your home as a lash artist legally, even if you have your beauty license. So for example, I believe you can work out of your garage but there has to be a bathroom and a sink in there. Like, your client isn't allowed to go into your personal home to use your restroom. That's what the law is here. So I've seen people do like buy like a shed from Home Depot or something and turn it into like a beautiful Lash space because it could install a sink in a bathroom. So that's totally legal. But if you're just doing what I did, working out of your living room or just working in a spare bedroom that doesn't have a bathroom and a sink, then that's not really legal. And another thing was, people cannot go through your home in order to get to that space. It has to just be one entrance in and one entrance out of that one space. No going in your house. That's what would make it illegal. But again, every single state is different. Yeah, I admit I did do that because I had no other option. I wasn't licensed at the time, so I couldn't rent out of space. And also, I wanted to save up as much money as I could, and I was paying for beauty school out of pocket with financial aid help, of course. But another con is that it's not really 100% safe. I mean, thankfully I never had any problems. I never had any weirdos or creeps come into my house, but you never know who's coming into your house. It's your home, especially if you're like alone or something, which even though I live with my sister half the time, or probably 90% of the time, I was alone when I was doing my clients because she was working a lot. You know, letting new clients in could be a little scary because you don't know them, you don't know their intentions. I mean, more than likely nothing terrible is going to happen. I mean, they're there to get a service, especially if you take deposits, which you absolutely should. You should be fine, but you know, that's just something to consider. And especially with COVID going on, it's not really the safest thing in the world to let strangers into your home. You know, even if they're wearing a mask and all of that, it's just, you just never know. People lie about their symptoms or anything like that, so it's just not the safest way. But again, do what you got to do, and you can make it work, make it safe as possible. If you do have the opportunity to go into a suite, do it. But we're gonna get into that in a little bit. Let's talk about some pros, some positives of working from home. So unfortunately, I don't really have too many pros. For me, there was a lot more cons working from home than pros. But the pros that I have is that you're not paying any extra rent. So you just pay in your house rent or your mortgage or whatever, and then you have an additional room, and it's pretty much straight profit from what you're making. It's not like you're in a studio paying $1,000 a month or whatever it may be, to where you have to keep in mind, oh, $1,000 I have to pay, so $1,000 that I make, I'm not keeping. No, from home you're keeping all of it straight profit. But that was probably the biggest pro for me, was not having to pay any additional rent. And another pro is that you get to wake up and you're at your job already. You don't have to, I mean, you should get ready, you should look nice for your clients, but you don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to wake up early to like beat traffic or anything. Like, you're literally in your room, you get dressed and you go to your Lash room, your client's there, you're set. So those were the only pros that I found. Obviously there was a lot more cons. I personally did not enjoy working from home just because of all of the cons that I listed. But like I said, if it's your only option and you're just building your clientele and you don't really have the money to do a studio yet, then do what you gotta do. I totally understand. I did it. You know, check your state laws, your state regulations, because again, for me in Florida, it was not legal, but I had to do it for a little bit. Let's talk about studio renting. So right now I am currently renting a room in a studio and I really love it. It is so much better for me than working from home. So I'll talk about how much I pay first. So I only pay $350 a month, which comes down to about $87 a week, which is like literally one set of lashes, like less than a set of lashes, because my lowest set of lashes starts at $100. So one client a week, I'm good. You know, obviously I have more than that, but it's not that bad. And yes, could I be keeping the additional $350 if I work from home? Absolutely, but I wouldn't have been able to raise my prices like I did. And again, too many cons working from home for me. The only con that I could think of from working from a studio, well actually no, there's two cons. So the first one is paying that rent. So yeah, you're gonna have to pay rent. No one's gonna give you a studio for free unless you get really lucky. But I mean, paying the rent kind of evens itself out because you get to raise your prices. So you're still going to be making more money than you were working at home just because of that price increase. So that was one of the pros, is paying rent, but it's not a big deal at all, especially like, again, people see you in a studio and they're going to think you're more professional. So you're going to most likely attract more clients. Especially when you get a studio, I highly recommend, you know, taking videos, taking pictures, posting them on social media to show people, yo, I work in a studio, I am professional, pay my high prices, you know what I mean? So definitely outweighs paying rent. And another con that I have personally right now, I'm in a studio and I rent a room out where there's massage therapists, so they own like the whole little suite thing, and there's like a couple of rooms and I rent the room out. I just noticed like when they check out clients, they can be kind of loud and noisy, and where my room is located, it's right by the reception desk, so right by the front. Right when clients come in for them, they're just talking and they can be kind of loud because the walls are pretty thin, so that's kind of another con. Depending on where you are, it may be loud. I don't recommend renting a room out at like a hairstylist studio. You're gonna hear blow dryers all day and it's just gonna be way too loud. So if you are renting a room out, definitely check out the location, make sure that it's nice and quiet and serene, because you know, when you're doing lashes, your client needs to be very relaxed, and half the time they end up falling asleep, so you want to create that environment. Something I noticed where I work too is sometimes like someone else that's renting a room will just open my door and like ask me something, and I really don't like that, because like I said, clients fall asleep and they want to be, you know, relaxed and stuff, so it's not really professional. So I am in the process of getting a bigger space, so I will definitely make a YouTube video on that, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Those are the two cons I found when you're renting your own space, but let's talk about all the pros, guys. There are so many pros to renting out your own space, and this is why I highly recommend it. Even if you're just starting off, if you have your beauty license, go for it. You're gonna be successful. You're not gonna fail. Anyways, let's talk about the pros. So like I said earlier, kind of reiterating what I said, it's more professional. People are going to see you as, damn, this girl has her own studio, this is her own business, like she's not working out of her house, she is more professional. People like seeing an address in your Instagram bio. When I worked from home, I did not have my home address in my Instagram bio for safety reasons. I don't want weirdos showing up, not that that would happen. I don't have people randomly showing up at my job now, but it just, again, professional. People love it. You get to charge higher prices, like I said earlier as well. I didn't raise my prices too much. I raised them by $30 each full set, and then my fills, I think I raised them by like $10 to $15, so it wasn't like a huge price increase. I feel like with lashes, even if you are working from home, you are able to raise your prices, but like I said, with working from home, I feel like you can only go so high, but it also depends on your clientele. But for me, I raise my prices about once a year, so that once a year is coming up pretty soon, so I will be raising my prices shortly because I can, and I'm moving to a bigger studio like I said earlier, so kind of justifies that. It's a safer work environment. So like I said, nothing ever happened horrible happened when I was working from home or anything, but when you're in a professional setting, I feel like people are less likely to try and pull something or whatever they're trying to do at a workplace. Especially, you know, working in a studio, for me, I did feel safer because I was working with other females and it was a professional environment. So let's talk about distractions. So as I said earlier, I do have a couple problems when it comes to distractions working in a studio, but it's just far less than what it was when I was working from home. Like, no one is cooking food where I work. Like, if anything, like I said, maybe someone else that works with me will peek in to tell me something here and there. But your distractions are very limited. You just play your music, your client falls asleep, and you're good to go. One of my favorite pros that I love about renting a suite is that I got to separate work and home. So like I said, I also listed it as a pro earlier, where I said one of the pros is you get to wake up and you're downstairs in your home, which was great for me. That was such a pro for me, but it eventually became a con because I wanted to feel like I'm going to work. I wanted to feel like I need to get ready, because working from home, I was wearing freaking sweatpants and like hoodies every day because I didn't care because I was working from home. But now I'm in a studio, I have to wake up early, I have to get dressed, I have to get ready, look presentable for my clients. And not only that, just, you know, I want to look good for work. I feel like everyone wants to look good for work. So I really like that. I only live like 5 minutes from my suite, so thankfully I really don't have to wake up that much earlier. And then one more pro, last pro, is if you're working in a suite, a salon suite. I know there's like salon lofts. I don't know if they have it in every state, but I believe it's called salon loft or like solo salons, where it's literally like this huge building and there's a ton of rooms, and each room is rented out by someone in the beauty industry. So if you're renting one of those, first of all, I would definitely say don't rent one of those because those are like super expensive. Definitely start off with an office space, or if you can find like a massage therapist like I did, or some other esthetician that's renting a room, it's probably gonna be a lot cheaper than working in a salon loft, because salon loft is a franchise, so they're literally there to make money. And obviously if you're renting out from someone else, they're looking to make money too, but they kind of rip you off, the salon loft. One of my friends rented out a salon loft and the room was tiny, like probably like 90 square feet. This girl was paying $1,000 a month for her little ass 90 square feet room, which is outrageous. Okay, like if you find some other office space, definitely do that. I think a pro to working there is that you get to network with a ton of other people in the beauty industry. So, you know, maybe you guys can exchange business cards and say, hey, oh, I'll recommend clients to you if you recommend clients to me and stuff like that. But $1,000 is just not okay. I would never pay that for a tiny room. It's just not worth it to me. But if you're really balling like that, do it. But again, with $1,000, you can get like your own space with your own rooms and rent out your own rooms, which I will talk about that in another video as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I had on my little iPad over here. So those are the pros and cons. So definitely consider what you want to do when it comes to starting off. Like I said though, if you don't have your esthetician's license, you really should decide as soon as possible if you feel like lashing is for you, because it's not really legal to work without your license in Florida. I know there are some states, I believe Texas is one of them, where all you need is a lash certificate, but most states you do need an esthetician's license of some sort. So definitely look into the laws, because you know you want to be legal, you want your clients to think you're legal, and you get to showcase your license. Like my license is showcased right by my lashing bed, so everyone can see it, everyone knows I'm legit, and it just creates that professional atmosphere for your client, which is what you want. So definitely consider the pros and cons. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment down below, and I am going to be posting videos every single week. Okay guys, like my goal is 1 video a week, hopefully more. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and keep a lookout because I am going to make so many more videos for you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing day, fabulous day. I'm such a loser. Bye.